Hello everyone, for today's video I want to introduce my presentation Software Quality Assurance Testing with ChatGPT AI. My name is Yuri Karpeshin. I'm ICQB certified software quality assurance engineer with more than 5 years of commercial experience. Software testing jobs are in high demand due to increasing integration of software in different industries and the rise of technologies such as AI and IoT. These factors make the software testing a dynamic and promising field for professionals. Artificial intelligence is becoming a part of our life, and in a year or two it may be everywhere around us. We should know how to use it and how to communicate with it to our benefit. So what is ChatGPT? ChatGPT is an advanced artificial intelligence language model developed by OpenAI based on a generative pre-trained transformer architecture. Its design allows us to understand and generate human-like text based on the input it receives. This capability enables ChatGPT to participate in conversations, answer questions, write text in various topics, solve problems, and perform a wide range of text-based tasks. So let's communicate with ChatGPT and ask him simple questions. Who is QA engineer and what are his responsibilities? So now we're located on ChatGPT user interface, and we will be using ChatGPT for all version. There are also ChatGPT with Canvas, which we will be using later, and there are also free version of subscription to ChatGPT. Um, so let's start with the questions we've said before, like who is QA engineer and what are his responsibilities. And ChatGPT gave us the answer, and he wrote it down, the definition of who is QA engineer, and with the no, he listed the responsibilities of it. We're gonna read it out loud, some of them, and the definition itself. So, key engineer is a professional responsible for ensuring the quality of software product by conducting systematic testing and validation processes. Their role is crucial in identifying and preventing software defects, which help maintain product reliability, usability, and performance. Uh, and responsibility for key engineer, understanding requirements. Key engineer work closely with stakeholders, product manager, developers to understand the requirements and goals of the software. Creating test plan and test cases. They develop a comprehensive test plans and test cases that covers all aspects of the application, including functionality, usability, performance, and security. We can also call it as test documentation or test artifacts. Manual automated testing. Engineers conduct manual testing to evaluate software functionality and user experience. And also we can build and run automated testing using some kind of framework and coding language. By identification and reporting, this is one of the main part of QEngineer because we looking for bugs, looking for issues, looking for some like requirement issues or anything else, and also performing load testing, regression testing, collaboration. You see that there are a lot of responsibilities for engineers. You can read it yourself, or you can use ChatGPT as well to ask him the same questions or questions around QA thing. But we will moving on to the more interesting chapters. The question is, how can ChatGPT assist in software testing? While AI is not here to replace testers, it can complement our work in several ways. ChatGPT can assist in test case generation, documentation, automating repetitive tasks, and even in troubleshooting bugs. Using ChatGPT in software testing can improve test coverage and provide innovative solutions to common testing challenges. Here, how it can be integrated into various aspects of software testing. First of all, training and onboarding. For teams with new members or those who are looking to upskill in testing methodologies and tools, ChatGPT can serve as an interactive learning assistant. It can provide explanations, tutorials, and best practices on various testing topics, frameworks, and languages, making the onboarding and continuously learning process more efficient. For example, we have a new team members. We wish to onboard them to the testing process and tools. used by the team. I prepared some requests for ChatGPT. I'm going to paste it and read it out loud. So create an onboarding guide for new team members for a project where we are using, for example, Jira, distilled, Postman, and Visual Studio Code. You can add whenever you want here, and ChatGPT will give you the answer for this one. So it's writing down the answer for our question. And first of all, it's introduction by the team. It's giving us step by step how we can, or how we may onboard our new QA team members. So this is like assessing and using Jira and test case management in test trail. It's giving the steps which we can or cannot use during our onboarding stage. And this is an example of what ChatGPT can do. He can do more than that. It depends from what answer and what we want to get from it. But also you can modify your request, your question to ChatGPT, or you ask. It's up to you. For next, what we may use ChatGPT is generating test cases. ChatGPT can be used to generate detailed test cases based on requirements a user stories provided. By inputting the specifications of the software, you can ask it to create test cases, test scenarios that cover all functionalities, including edge cases that human testers might overlook. This can significantly reduce the time spent on the test case creation and ensure comprehensive test coverage. Imagine you're testing an e-commerce application and you can use ChatGPT to generate a variety of test cases for the login process. So let's ask him that. I'm going to paste the question here, generate test cases for login process of an e-commerce website. Let's ask for test cases, and it's giving us the functional test cases for a valid login with correct credentials, invalid login, login with unregistered email. So it doesn't know our requirements for our application, and it's just giving us the basic information based on analysis on website and general e-commerce platforms. Let's be more specific and ask him for more detailed test cases. So we're gonna give him some information. For example, write test cases for login page when username should be at least 10 characters, password should include at least one number, and most special character and minimum char are 8. So it's imaginary requirements, but you can add whatever you want to add. And then giving us positive test cases with the information we gave to him. So he says enter username with these 10 characters, then at least 10 characters username and 8 character password. It should check the negative test case scenario for when we when we put like less than 10 characters for username, and some others are negative for password. So we have those cases. We don't have much attributes here, so we can ask him to. And we want to collect these test cases somewhere. For example, an Excel or numbers. And let's ask him to structure those cases into the table with following columns: test case number, test case title, preconditions, steps to reproduce expected result, actual result, notes, and priority. You can add whatever you want. It could be severity or attachments. It's up to you. And now we see that it's creating the table and write it down, like all the information he gave us above, to the table and specific cells. So the test case title, preconditions, steps to reproduce. Here we can paste this table, copy this table and paste it into the Excel or numbers or any application we want to store our test cases and use them day by day. It's more simple and more easier way to create those cases. The next thing we can do with ChatGPT is generating bug reports. So ChatGPT can be utilized to analyze bug reports written in natural language and classify them based on severity, type, and components affected. It can summarize and prioritize bug reports, making it easier for development teams to address critical issues first. So we found a bug in the application and need to create a detailed bug report. Let's just paste the request to ChatGPT to generate a bug report for login failure in a web application. There's no details added to this request, but let's see what the ChatGPT gave us from scratch. And it gave us a pretty basic bug report with the title, ID, priority, severity, environment, steps to reproduce. It doesn't have any information because we didn't provide the request with that. So it's basic on analyzing some information in the internet. It gave us pretty basic example how the bug report should look like. But we can be more specific here. And if we test in the application and we want to add some more details to make bug report be more consistent with the actual information. So for example, let's ask for ChatGPT to write a bug report with login failure with system 404. And let's say we're using browser Chrome and operation system as Mac OS. And now it's including all the information we gave him to analyze and adding those 404 system error and also the browser version and the operation system and the device. I mean, we didn't classify the device, but it assumed that we are using MacBook Pro. So additional information, also providing the like the cases when 404 may appear on a login page, and etc. So this is a pretty good example how we can use ChatGPT to create bug reports. Also, we'll take a look on test data generation. Test data that covers every possible input scenario can be challenging. ChatGPT can generate synthetic test data based on the specifications you provide, including edge cases. This is particularly useful for testing database applications, form validations, and handling various input formats. Let's just say we have to test some form input form validations, and we need a variety of test data, including edge cases and invalid inputs. Let's paste it to ChatGPT, generate test data for testing the input validation of user registration form with fields username, password, email, and phone number. And let's see for a result. It providing us with a valid and invalid cases and invalid data for a username, password, email, a phone number. However, we didn't provide any requirements, any specifications to our fields. So it's just giving us a simple example, basic on the information it analyzed on the internet. We can specify it here, or we can specify in the first request. It's very helpful for testing large forms with a lot of data, valid and invalid inputs. And also we can use this information to create test cases, which we used before. Also, ChatGPT can help us with exploratory testing support. As QA engineers, we always should focus on product quality. We do a lot of exploratory testing and sometimes can have lack of ideas where to process next. In this case, we may ask ChatGPT what he may think help us in this particular case. For example, during exploratory testing, we encounter unexpected behavior and need quick ideas on how to proceed. I prepared a request for ChatGPT. I'm gonna paste it and read it out loud. I encountered an unexpected error message while submitting a form. What should I do next? And he may give us some ideas what we should do before continuous testing, and it's just quick thoughts and basic analysis what we may do before our testing, and document the error, take a screenshot, analyze the error, like probably go to browser console log and server logs. Maybe we can find something there will can help us moving on. And there are many thoughts how we can move on, and we may like do more detailed requests, adding some details, messages, etc. but it is what it is, and it will help us for sure. And last but not least, I want to speak with you about writing test scripts for automation. Automated testing is crucial for efficient software testing, especially for regression and load testing. ChatGPT can assist in writing automated test scripts by converting manual test cases into the code for popular testing frameworks like Selenium, Cypress, or Jest. This can speed up the automation process and help testers who may not be proficient in coding. For example, let's just automate tests for logging functionality using JavaScript, Selenium, and Mocha libraries. I prepared requests, and it says write a Selenium test script in JavaScript using Mocha library for automating logging functionality of web application. For this request, we will be using ChatGPT for all with Canvas. And let's just see the result. And it's writing the code for us in JavaScript, Selenium WebDriver, and Mocha libraries as we told him to do. And all we need to do is just to review the code, replace the variables like links and locators to our application, and use this code as a skeleton for our automated test script. Also, we can paste already written code here and help to figure out for ChatGPT to figure out some fixes, improvements, or implementation we want to get. This is very helpful for automating project with dynamic changes and massive scope for automation testing. So, to summarize, by leveraging ChatGPT in these areas, software testing teams can not only increase their efficiency and effectiveness, but also innovate in their testing approaches. It's important, however, to validate the outputs from ChatGPT as with any automated tool or AI system to ensure accuracy and relevance to specific testing needs. Thank you for your